Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Thiel, and I'm the author of Fatima Shock, What the Vatican Does Not Want You to Know About Fatima, Dogmas of Mary, and Future Apparitions. Now, for those of you who are not particularly familiar with Fatima, Fatima was the name of Muhammad's favorite daughter. She, along with Mary, the mother of Jesus, is considered to be one of the 4 perfect women in history, according to Islam. In the 1500s, in Portugal, an Islamic princess by the name of Fatima converted to Catholicism. Because of this, this little village was named Fatima after her. In 1917, 3 little children, while they were walking their sheep, noticed a lady appear. This female apparition appeared once a month for 6 months. It never said that it was Mary. It actually just called itself the Lady. Interestingly, Islam has people who believe that what appeared at Fatima, Portugal, was not Mary, but instead the Islamic Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad. In the 1950s, Hollywood actually made a movie about this called The Miracle of Our Lady of Fatima. But what's interesting, both about the movie, as well as what most people think showed up at Fatima, what appeared at Fatima is not what most people actually believe. Here, for example, is a picture of the Basilica of Fatima. And here, inside, is a picture of the primary statue of Mary, which most people look at and believe this is what appeared in Fatima. And this is consistent with how most Marian statues are portrayed. You can see she's wearing a long dress all the way down to her feet, and that's a typical portrayal. She's also wearing a crown, which, by the way, was put on later by the Pope. The Lady of Fatima, when it appeared, was not wearing one. But what shocked most Catholics is what was really seen, because what I just showed you does not meet the description that the 3 children said they saw. Actually, this is what the children said they saw. Pay close attention to this. Notice the fact that a lot of skin is showing. Notice the fact that the skirt only comes to the knee. Notice, by the way, that this is supposed to be from 1917. In 1917 Portugal, not even harlots dressed like this. This was not appropriate attire for females. And Lucia, the oldest of the 3 children to see the lady, who was only 10 at the time, she actually thought what she saw was the devil, as did her priest. Now, what I just showed you, you compare the 2 pictures. This picture here, again, is what it was based upon the description that the 3 children told the priests that they saw when they were at Fatima. Interestingly, for people who've read Lucia's book, which is highly edited, by the way, and only one of, out of 27 volumes, there's a lot of information that was not put in this book. They don't learn any of this because she doesn't say this in this particular book. Now, I've had people tell me, oh, what you showed here is not possible. That couldn't possibly be what was seen. Well, actually it was. Most people do not know about this because it was not released by the Vatican until 1992. By that time, people were used to seeing women in shorter dresses and skirts and shorts. But also, it was released in the Portuguese language, so very few people ended up becoming familiar with what was really seen. Now, as far as what the priests said they saw, I had one person tell me that the priests lied. Now, first of all, I do not believe that Lucia's parish priest lied, but there was a second priest, a Canon Manuel Formajon, who was appointed by the bishop of the area to investigate Fatima. Now, let me read what he said, because he interviewed all 3 children. Jacinta, that's one of the 3 children, confirms that Our Lady's dress fell only to the knees. Our Lady obviously could not appear other than dressed in the utmost decency and modesty. This constitutes a serious problem, opposing the very validity of the apparition, giving rise to the spirit of the dread that this whole affair is a mystification prepared by the Prince of Darkness. Now, people have said, okay, not all the priests were in favor of Fatima, so maybe priests were making things up to affect his credibility. But not this particular priest. This particular priest actually promoted Fatima. And why did he promote it, since what was seen obviously could not possibly have been Mary of the Bible? Because one of the messages that was given to one of the children, Fatima, was portrayed to him that the lady that appeared mentioned him. And apparently because of his ego, his pride, his hope, his desire, he promoted Fatima despite the fact that he knew what was seen, or that the children claimed that they saw, only had a short skirt. And the reality is the only three people who saw the lady were the three children, and they confirmed that what was seen was a creature with a short skirt. Also, by the way, it was not some big, tall person. It was only something about this high. It was 1.1 meters tall. So it's pretty small, and that was actually what was seen in Fatima. Interestingly, in one of the things I go through in Fatima Shock is that a lot of the messages that were given, not only did they contradict messages of Fatima or the apparitions according to Lucia, either during 1917 or future, or subsequent visits that she had claimed, contradict Scripture. In addition to contradicting Scripture, Catholic saints such as Melito, Irenaeus, Theodophilus of Antioch, Origen, Basil, Cyprian of Carthage, John Chrysostom, Ambrose, Hilary, Gregory Tours, Bernard Clairvaux, Bonaventure, Albert the Great, and Thomas Aquinas all took positions that were against what some of these messages were given. And most Catholics don't know this. The Vatican hasn't made this clear to a lot of people. Now, some will say, well, hasn't the Vatican approved Fatima? Not quite. In 1960, the Vatican released a report that said, we do not stand behind the messages that the children claimed they heard. In 2012, Pope Benedict again went out and said that no Catholic has to believe Fatima. So the Vatican's at least admitting you don't have to believe it, but one of the reasons why this was not believed was because of this whole short skirt matter. And this has been known for quite some time. Again, it came from the original investigation in 1917 and wasn't released until 1992. So no wonder a lot of the popes were very skittish about Fatima and didn't want to fully endorse it. This also might explain why Lucia, who lived much longer than the rest of the children, the other two children that saw this, was cloistered away from most everybody for a long time. Now, tens of millions of people every year visit Marian apparitions. Millions go to Fatima, Portugal. As a matter of fact, it's probably the second biggest tourist draw for the whole country of Portugal. I wrote Fatima Shock to warn people that apparitions that most people will think are Mary will likely be parts of signs and lying wonders that the Bible warns about. How apparitions are likely to affect the world seem to be a mission-to-mention prophecy that most who profess Christ do not realize. They do not understand how the Lady of the Kingdoms in Isaiah 47 ties in with the harlot lady of Revelation 17, even though in Isaiah 47 she's called the Virgin. Also, Jesus warned in Matthew 24:24 that nearly everybody would be deceived from signs and lying wonders that are going to be coming to pass in the future. And according to Catholic prophecy, one of the things that's going to lead to the rise of an ecumenical religion that most people are going to follow are going to be apparitions that claim to be Mary. The truth about Fatima, the secrets of Fatima, the Vatican's views of Fatima, and what's really going to happen, and how Satan is using and has used apparitions falsely claimed to be Mary to deceive the rest of humanity are documented in Fatima Shock. Fatima Shock provides concerned Christians enough Catholic documented facts needed to effectively counter every false Marian argument. The Apostle Peter admonished Christians to be always ready to give a defense to everyone who asks. If you want a deeper understanding of these matters that I can cover in a YouTube or just a press release or a news item, you should read Fatima Shock. If you're not shocked by what's in Fatima Shock, I would be surprised. This is documented facts to help you, help yourself and others not to be deceived by lying apparitions which will be coming to pass.